Have you ever shared something with family only to immediately wish you could take it back? After 30 years counseling seniors, I've discovered a surprising truth. Complete openness isn't always the path to family harmony. As we age, we naturally want to be transparent with loved ones. But certain revelations can inadvertently shift family dynamics, turning supportive relationships into something complicated. I'm not suggesting deception. Rather, I'm talking about strategic privacy. Thoughtful boundaries that protect both your peace of mind and your family connections. In this video, I'll share 5 things you might want to keep private after 65. These insights have helped thousands of my clients maintain their independence while still nurturing close family bonds. Let us know where you're watching from in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more wisdom that honors your life experience. Now let's start with the most misunderstood area where privacy actually strengthens family ties. 1. Your complete financial details. Money talks become a whole different ball game after 65. I learned this lesson not from a textbook, but watching my Aunt Helen's experience unfold in real time. Helen, a fiercely independent retired school teacher, decided to be completely transparent with her 3 adult children about her finances. With the best intentions, she spread her financial statements across her dining room table one Sunday afternoon. "I thought I was doing the right thing," she told me later, dabbing at tears. But within weeks, my son was sending me investment newsletters marked urgent. My daughter started questioning my donations to the animal shelter, and my son-in-law suddenly had opinions about whether I should take that Alaskan cruise I'd been saving for. This isn't just Helen's story. A 2023 Boston University study found that 68% of seniors who shared detailed financial information with adult children reported increased family tension within 6 months. Those aren't great odds for family harmony. Why does this happen? Because money isn't just numbers. It represents freedom, choices, and deeply personal values. When your family knows exactly what you have, they develop opinions about how you should manage it. Even well-meaning children can't help seeing your resources through the lens of their own priorities and worries. As Ruth, a 73-year-old widow from Chicago, told me, "The minute my daughters knew the exact figure in my retirement account, our relationship changed. Suddenly, my twice-weekly dinner at my favorite Italian restaurant became extravagant and unnecessary. I felt like I was 12 again, asking for permission to spend my allowance." The shift is subtle, but profound. Family members who once saw you as capable and independent may unconsciously begin viewing you as someone who needs guidance. That $30 hair appointment or $200 gift to a grandchild becomes subject to invisible scrutiny. Financial advisor Margaret Thompson puts it perfectly. When adult children know their parents have substantial savings, they often unconsciously factor it into their own financial planning. This creates expectations that can strain relationships. So what's the balanced approach? You don't need to be secretive, but consider sharing broad outlines rather than specific numbers. Instead of exact figures, use general terms, "I'm comfortable," or "I've planned carefully for retirement." Discuss your financial values and priorities without revealing account balances. Share the names of your financial advisor, attorney, and where important documents are kept, not the contents of those documents. This approach ensures your family knows you're prepared without inviting unnecessary opinions about your spending or saving choices. When someone presses for details, try this gentle redirect that worked wonders for John, a 78-year-old retired engineer in my senior discussion group. When his daughter kept asking about his investment strategy, he smiled and said, "I've spent 7 decades managing my money. That's why I still have some. Now tell me about that kitchen renovation you're planning." His good-natured deflection preserved both his privacy and their relationship. Remember, keeping some financial specifics private isn't about distrust. It's about maintaining your autonomy and preventing that subtle shift where your personal resources become a family talking point. I'm curious. What's been your experience sharing financial information with family? Did it strengthen relationships or create unexpected tension? Share your story below. Your experience might help others navigate these tricky waters. 2. Minor health concerns. Ever notice how our bodies become chattier as we age? A knee that complains about the weather, a back that negotiates with stairs. These conversations with our own bodies are perfectly normal, but sharing every little ache and pain with your family, that's where things get tricky. My neighbor Richard learned this lesson the hard way. At 72, he began casually mentioning every minor health concern to his adult children. My knee's acting up today. Had a dizzy spell yesterday morning. Feeling extra tired after lunch. He thought he was just making conversation. Little did he know he was accidentally rewriting his role in the family. Within months, Richard's daughter was calling him daily for health updates. His son started researching retirement communities just in case. And his weekend visits with grandchildren were canceled twice because his daughter-in-law worried he might not be up to it. I never meant to worry them, Richard told me over our fence. Now I can't mention a hangnail without my kids treating me like I'm made of glass. A fascinating study from the Journal of Aging Studies confirms Richard's experience isn't unique. Researchers found that when seniors regularly report minor health concerns to family members, those family members typically overestimate the severity by 70%. That's right. What you experience as a 2 on the discomfort scale often registers as a 7 in your children's minds. Why such a dramatic difference? Because for adult children, parents' health concerns trigger complex emotions. Fear of losing you, guilt about not doing enough, even subconscious anxiety about their own mortality. Your casual mention of fatigue becomes, in their minds, the first sign of serious decline. Before long, this well-intentioned concern can erode your independence. Family members may begin questioning your judgment, taking over decision-making, or treating you as fragile. As one 80-year-old in my discussion group put it, the moment I mentioned my arthritis was acting up, my son took away my garden shears. 40 years of pruning roses without incident, and suddenly I'm not trusted with scissors. So what's the balanced approach? I'm not suggesting hiding serious health issues. Rather, consider being selective about which minor concerns warrant mentioning. A good rule of thumb: if a symptom hasn't bothered you for more than a week, hasn't limited your activities, and isn't getting worse, it probably doesn't need to be shared. When family members ask the inevitable, "How are you feeling?" question, try this response that worked beautifully for Betty, a 75-year-old in my community. "I'm doing well enough to enjoy what matters, like hearing about your new project. Tell me more about that." This gentle redirection maintains your privacy while showing genuine interest in them. Remember, the image your family holds of you powerfully influences how they treat you. By focusing conversations on your interests, activities, and the positive aspects of your life, you help them continue seeing you as the capable, vibrant person you are. How about you? Have you noticed family members overreacting to casual mentions of health issues? Or have you found good ways to discuss health without triggering unnecessary worry? Share your experiences in the comments. Your insights might be exactly what another viewer needs to hear today. 3. Your true thoughts on family conflicts. When my sister and brother-in-law were headed for divorce after 32 years of marriage, everyone in our family had an opinion. My niece called me regularly, hoping I'd agree her father was being unreasonable. My nephew wanted me to convince his mother to try harder. Even my brother-in-law called, seeking validation for his perspective. I had strong feelings about the situation. I'd watched their marriage up close for decades and had insights neither of them could see. But I remembered something my grandmother told me years ago. In family disputes, the person who speaks their mind often becomes the next target. Those words saved me from a world of trouble. Instead of sharing my true thoughts, I became a sympathetic listener for all parties. 3 years later, when they eventually reconciled, my relationships with everyone remained intact. while several relatives who'd taken sides were still working to repair fractured connections. Family conflicts are as old as families themselves. Whether it's siblings arguing over inheritance, adult children holding grudges, or extended family members who don't speak, these situations have a magnetic pull. We want to help. We want to share our wisdom. We want sometimes to simply set the record straight. Yet research from family psychology experts at Northwestern University shows that when seniors express strong opinions in family conflicts, 64% experience strained relationships with at least one family member as a result, even after the original conflict is resolved. Why? Psychologists call it triangulation. The process where two conflicting parties pull in a third person. Once you share your true thoughts, you're no longer a neutral party, but another player in the drama. And unlike a professional mediator, you come with decades of complex family history and relationships. The statements we make during family conflicts have remarkable staying power, explains Dr. Caroline West, family therapist and author. People rarely forget who took sides, even years after they've forgotten what the argument was about. This is particularly dangerous territory when sharing opinions about in-laws, parenting styles, or major life choices. What feels like helpful advice to you might feel like rejection to them, especially when emotions are already running high. Consider Barbara, an 83-year-old grandmother who told her daughter exactly what she thought about her son-in-law's career change. "I was just being honest," Barbara explained to me. "But 3 years later, my son-in-law still barely speaks to me at family gatherings. So what's the wiser approach? You don't have to pretend conflicts don't exist, or feign neutrality when asked directly. Instead, try this response that has saved countless relationships in my own family. I care about both of you too much to get in the middle. What I know for sure is that you're both doing your best with a difficult situation." This approach accomplishes something remarkable. It honors both parties without taking sides. It expresses faith in their abilities to work things out. And it preserves your relationships for the long term. Are there exceptions? Absolutely. When safety is at risk, particularly for children or vulnerable adults, or when legal or ethical boundaries are being crossed, speaking up becomes necessary. But for the everyday conflicts that all families experience, strategic neutrality often proves the wisest path. As my friend George, a retired judge with 8 grandchildren, puts it, "At our age, we've learned that most family conflicts resolve themselves with time. Our job isn't to referee, but to be the steady presence everyone can return to when the storm passes." Have you ever shared your true thoughts during a family conflict, only to regret it later? Or have you found effective ways to stay connected to all parties during disagreements? Your experiences might offer valuable guidance for others facing similar challenges. Please share them in the comments below. 4. Personal regrets about the past. We all have them. Those quiet moments when we think about roads not taken, chances we didn't seize, or times we wish we'd done things differently. Regrets are part of the human experience, a natural result of living long enough to gain wisdom and perspective. But sharing those regrets with your adult children can have unexpected consequences. I remember sitting with my mother on her 75th birthday when she suddenly said, "If I could do it all over again, I would have traveled more when you kids were young, instead of being so focused on saving for the future." She meant it as a simple reflection on her life journey, but I immediately felt a weight of responsibility. Had my childhood somehow limited her? Should I have encouraged her to pursue her dreams more? Was our family life somehow inadequate? This personal experience is backed by research. A study from the Family Institute at Northwestern University found that 78% of adult children internalize their parents' expressed regrets, often interpreting them as indirect criticisms or sources of guilt, even when that's not the parent's intention at all. Think about it. If you mention wishing you'd spent less time working and more time with family, your children might hear, "I wasn't a good enough parent." If you express regret about not pursuing a passion, they might wonder if family responsibilities held you back. Even casual comments like, "I wish we'd moved to Florida years ago," can make children question whether your life choices, which included raising them, brought you fulfillment. Elizabeth, a 77-year-old retired teacher in my community group, learned this lesson after mentioning to her daughter that she sometimes regretted not pursuing a doctorate. For weeks afterward, my daughter kept bringing up educational opportunities for me, offering to help with applications, even suggesting online programs, Elizabeth told me. She couldn't understand that I wasn't asking for solutions. I was just reflecting on my journey. The same principle applies to romantic regrets. Mentioning a past love, even in a seemingly harmless way, can make your current partner feel like a second choice. Even reminiscing about friendships that drifted apart can shift how your family perceives your satisfaction with present relationships. This doesn't mean you should never process your regrets. In fact, thoughtful reflection on life's what-ifs can be healthy and meaningful. But consider finding appropriate outlets. A trusted friend from your own generation who understands life's complexities. A professional counselor who can provide perspective without emotional entanglement. A personal journal where you can explore feelings privately. A peer support group where everyone understands the value of life review. These alternatives allow you to process feelings without inadvertently burdening those who love you most. There are, of course, exceptions. Sharing regrets can be appropriate when they serve as valuable life lessons, offered at the right moment with clear context. "I regret not taking better care of my health in my 40s" can be meaningful guidance when a child is facing similar choices. The key is being intentional about the purpose and timing of such revelations. What about you? Have you ever shared a regret that was misinterpreted by family members? Or have you found constructive ways to process life reflections without creating unintended consequences? Your wisdom could be exactly what another viewer needs to hear. Please share your experiences in the comments below. 5. Financial struggles or insecurities. Let's talk about something different from our first financial secret. While Section 1 addressed sharing too many details about your assets, this is about the opposite end of the spectrum, revealing financial hardships or insecurities you may be experiencing. Martha, a 74-year-old retired nurse from my community, faced unexpected expenses after a plumbing disaster in her home. With repairs exceeding her emergency fund, she reluctantly shared her financial stress with her children during a Sunday dinner. "I thought I was just being honest," she told me later. "I never expected what happened next." Within days, her son was questioning every purchase she made, including her weekly bridge club dues. Her daughter started sending job listings for part-time work, and her son-in-law began offering unsolicited advice about downsizing while you still have options. "Suddenly, I wasn't the mother who'd managed their household on a nurse's salary for decades," Martha said. "I became someone who couldn't be trusted with her own decisions, all because I shared one financial setback." Financial planner Sarah Rodriguez, who specializes in senior finances, explains, "When older adults reveal financial struggles to family members, it typically triggers one of two extreme reactions, either overprotective micromanagement or a profound loss of confidence in the parent's judgment. Neither response helps the actual situation." A 2022 study from the Financial Services Institute found that 72% of seniors who disclosed financial difficulties to adult children reported feeling their autonomy was undermined within 3 months. Children with the best intentions often rush to fix the problem, bypassing their parents' wisdom and experience in the process. This doesn't mean you should suffer in silence if you genuinely need help. But there are ways to address financial challenges that preserve your dignity and decision-making authority. Consider consulting a financial advisor who specializes in seniors' needs. Many offer sliding scale fees and can identify resources you might not know exist. The National Council on Aging, NCOA.org, offers free benefits checkups to identify programs you may qualify for. If you do need family support, Frame the conversation around specific, limited assistance rather than opening your entire financial situation to scrutiny. For instance, I could use help finding a reliable handyman for some home repairs. Maintains more autonomy than I'm worried about making ends meet. When well-meaning children start offering financial advice, try this gentle but firm response that worked for Edward, a 79-year-old widower in my discussion group. I appreciate your concern, but I've managed my finances through much tougher times than this. What would really help is specific action rather than advice. Certain situations do warrant transparency. If you're unable to afford necessary medications, facing potential homelessness, or dealing with predatory lenders. In these cases, selective sharing with the most supportive family member might be necessary. Remember, financial challenges at any age don't reflect on your worth or wisdom. Many seniors today face unprecedented economic pressures that previous generations didn't encounter. The goal isn't to hide difficulties completely, but to address them in ways that preserve your dignity and decision-making authority. Have you experienced changes in how family treats you after sharing financial concerns? Or have you found effective ways to get support without surrendering your autonomy? Your experiences could offer valuable guidance to others. Please share your thoughts in the comments below. These 5 areas of privacy aren't about keeping secrets. They're about protecting your peace and relationships in your golden years. By being selective about sharing financial details, minor health concerns, opinions on family conflicts, personal regrets, and financial struggles, you maintain both your independence and family harmony. You've earned the right to decide what you share. The most fulfilling relationships balance openness with thoughtful boundaries. Which of these 5 resonated most with you? Your experiences might help others find their own balance. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share your wisdom in the comments below. Here's to your peaceful, fulfilling relationships.